It's now Chris Weiss and President Obama.
Because it's clearly unconstitutional, for starters. But secondly, it is a huge and egregious assault against our democracy. It overturns over 200 years of law, which has kept the military out of domestic policing. All of the debate with Carl Levin, who with McCain sponsored the bill, was a struggle between the White House so that they would assume, they would have the right to assume which Americans would be detained by the military without due process and held indefinitely until the end of hostilities, this kind of endless war on terror. It's an extremely frightening step backwards for American democracy. And as someone who spent 20 years overseas and has lived in countries where the military has that kind of power, I have friends who disappeared into these military gulags. We've unleashed something that I think is truly terrifying. And as discontent grows, of course, the criteria by which people can be investigated in this country are so amorphous, even bizarre. I mean, somebody who's missing fingers on a hand, or somebody who has more than 7 days worth of food. It's a very seamless step to include in that list some of the obstructionist tactics of the Occupy movement. And I think that for those of us who care about civil liberties, the right of dissent and freedom, we have to stand up, and that's why Carl and I have decided to do this. And I think, Amy, one of the most sort of disturbing aspects of this is that the security establishment came out against it. The CIA, the FBI, the Attorney General, the Director of National Intelligence, none of them wanted it.
President Obama said he was going to veto it.
President Obama said he was going to veto it, but we now know from leaks out of Levin's office that that's because the executive branch wanted to decide. They wanted the power to decide who would be tried, who would be granted exemptions. It wasn't actually about the assault against due process. And I think we have to ask, if the security establishment did not want this bill, and the FBI Director Mueller actually goes to Congress and says publicly they don't want it, why did it pass? What pushed it through? And I think without question, the corporate elites understand that things certainly economically are about to get much worse. I think they're worried about the Occupy movement expanding. And I think that in the end, and this is a supposition, they don't trust the police to protect them. And they want to be able to call in the Army. And if this bill goes into law, and it's slated to go into law in March, they will be able to do that.